What's up, everybody? It's Adam here, and before I get into that channel update stuff, I got some Tropheus. Had these guys for about a month. Got them from a guy at the Greater Chicago Cichlid Association swap. Strongly recommend that if anyone's within 100 150 miles of Chicago. Fantastic show, and it's not just cichlids. In fact, over the last 5-6 years, it's gotten more diverse with other tropical type species, things like betas and stuff that I'm really not into. But anyways, I got Tropheus, and I am definitely nervous about them. Something that I've always been interested in, but never pulled the trigger until about a month ago. So these are Tropheus Moorii, out of Kantalamba is the locale. It's one of the red rainbows, and other red rainbows be the Kasangas and Kaskalowambe. I'm probably saying that wrong. In fact, I might be saying it completely wrong. I just going off the top of my head here, but they're definitely one of the red rainbow variants. Obviously, these are just fry. I currently have them in, well, this is their forever home, for as long as I have them at least, is 125, and I started with 54 of them. Well, it's impossible to do a head count, right? I've lost one so far, unfortunately. As I said, I am very nervous about this. I've kept a lot of different species, a lot of Mbuna, which is about the closest that I could identify with as far as Tropheus goes. They're insane. As I said, I kept a lot of Mbuna, and maybe if you threw 54 Melanochromis auratus in a tank, this tank, it would look similar, but these guys are insane. It's non-stop. So impossible to film up close to get some nice shots of them, honestly. So these are F1s. I bought them from a gentleman by the name of Aaron White. As I said, did get those at the GCCA show last month. When was that? December? Hold on, let me take a sip of my beer. Delicious. I contacted him through email. I saw him as a vendor there, and he's got a website. Pretty straightforward website. It's what he has available. He's got 16 colonies of Tropheus. He also has some other Tanganyikan stuff available, or at least that he's breeding. Including some Juvenile and what the hell else did he have? He had one jumbo Cyprichromis. Anyways, I'm going to link his website in the description. Really good selection for Tropheus, and not the kick in the balls price that you typically find with your big vendors. Plus the bonus of picking them up at the swap, he sells them for cheaper there. So anyone looking to do Tropheus is, well, the major concerns that as soon as you start doing research, well, they get sick easy. That's a big concern. But the other thing that would turn people off is the price. So anytime you can catch a break on the price is a bonus. Buying fry, I keep a lot of Malawi stuff. Fry for Malawis, you're talking, from a vendor, $6 to $10 for the standard stuff. But from a vendor at a show, $4 or $5 for fry. Haps, peacocks, and Buna. Sometimes less. Depends on the species, but Tropheus seem to be expensive all the way around. So like I said, anytime you can catch a break on that, pretty sweet deal. All right, so As I said, I am a bit nervous. I've never been more nervous about keeping a Rift Lake cichlid before. A lot of experience with Mbuna, quite a bit with haplochromins from Lake Malawi as well. I've done a decent amount of Tanganyikan stuff, but as far as Tanganyikan things go, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I've kept is substrate spawners, fish that pair up, or small harems like shellies and things like these. Tropheus, I don't really categorize that whatsoever. They are mouth brooders, but these guys never stop moving at all until the lights go out. I'm not sure what they do at night. I don't really watch them at night, but pretty entertaining as a whole. We'll see what happens with the group. I'm excited to see them grow. I've seen some growth, not a ton so far, but I guess if you see them every day, it's a bit different. I'm going to Mexico at the end of the month, and I'll be gone for over a week. Usually when I come back from a trip like that, I come back and I see my fish, and I'm like, oh my god, they got huge as shit. So hopefully I have that type of reaction with the Tropheus. We'll see. I'm not sure. But so far, they're a blast. I got a lot of good advice from the gentleman I bought them from, as I said, Aaron White. His biggest first thing, I had some communication with him back and forth a bit through email, but that was more of like settling on a species. So it's great when you can talk to somebody when something you're not familiar with. And to do that in person was great. Probably spent a good 15 minutes just talking about Tropheus to someone who has 16 wild caught colonies. Actually, I think it's 15, and then he's got the red bishops, so those don't really exist in nature. But either way, his first tip, be consistent. He talked about food and water changes. This tank, along with the other tanks along this wall, which is 6 aquariums in total, they're all in a drip system. Water changes aren't a thing, and it was cool because all of his stuff's on a drip system as well. So the food I settled on, one of the foods that he recommended was Northfin Veggie, I believe it's called. I had that food already. Northfin was something that kind of came out, at least to the US, like a few years back, and everybody was just sucking some Northfin tip. I think that initially I thought it was going to be kind of like a craze. Like you could see stuff, especially as far as YouTube goes, where all of a sudden everybody's talking about something. Do you remember like Chemi Pure Blue? Like, I don't know. Some of these things are just kind of fads, and they fade away. Northfin is a good food. I'm not completely sold on it. The reason I bought it is I was running out of NLS, and I thought I would try it years ago, and I could find it in bulk. I bought it at this place, Super Cichlids, which is a pretty solid place. It's got some very good selections, free shipping if you spend enough. So when you buy it in bulk, you get free shipping there, essentially. I think you got to spend $50, but good selection, a lot of different brands. Anyways, I'm just not sold on it completely. Northfin, I mean, I've had, like I said, a lot of different species of Rift Lake stuff, and some of them just don't seem to really care for the Northfin. I would say Mbuna will eat just about anything, but I've had difficulty selling some species on the Northfin, at least initially, sometimes permanently, whether that's the original formula, the krill formula, or the veggie formula. These Tropheus will eat anything. I guarantee if I put freaking a wad of mud in there, they would attack it. So not that they would really eat it. Maybe they would. I'm not sure. They are insane. So, concerns with the Tropheus so far. Yeah, I did lose one. I'm not sure why. As I said, it's impossible to keep track of this many fish. I can't come down here and do a head count. Basically, I feed them and make sure none of them are spitting any food out. Make sure they're interested in food. With anything African, specifically Tropheus and Malawan fish, you want to make sure that they're eating. So you come down, they should be crashing the glass. You don't want fish hiding up in the corners. You don't want fish hiding up in the corners, especially when you come to feed. There's probably something wrong, or it's a holding female. So I'm just kind of concerned maybe I'm not feeding enough. So I am going to the show. It's in a couple of nights, actually a couple of days. It's not at night, it's during the day. What am I talking about? That might be the alcohol talking. Better take another sip. So I'm going to talk with Aaron again, and so I'm feeding these guys twice a day. Just a small pinch of flake. I feel like I should feed them more. There's some dinks mixed in with these guys. The biggest ones are probably 2.25. And there's some that are like right at 1 inch, maybe even under, which, I know you can mix fry with adults. So I feel like, the larger ones can stuff down, 3-4 pellets at a feeding, and the little guys, if they're lucky, they get 1. So something I'll be asking about. I do want to update this along the way. If anyone knows my upload schedule on YouTube or watches these videos, that I might be gone for 6 to 12 months at a time. I've actually uploaded quite a few videos lately. I would like to continue doing that. Certainly can't promise anything. I guess I'm kind of more getting into the channel update part of this, but anyways, yeah, Tropheus, I'm scared as shit, and we'll see what happens. I will bring more videos eventually on this group. They're absolutely beautiful, so I'm pumped to see what they turn into. They're cool looking now, I mean, with the stripes, but you can already see some adult coloration coming in, some of the ones that are more aggressive. Undoubtedly males. Interesting thing, talking with the seller, he told me if he was doing 125 that he would do double the amount that I did, and I bought 54. That's coming from someone with experience with Tropheus, who invests likely thousands and thousands of dollars into a single wild-caught colony. So that's another concern for me. Like, do I have enough? I think I have enough. I mean, I'm confident I have enough to whittle things down and get a manageable colony out of this. I'd rather have a shitload of them than, just a handful. Interesting. I have a friend on Cichlid Forum. Now I'm rambling. Jesus. He had a group of Thricleus. This was a while ago. I think it was Thricleus mikai, the firemouth cichlid, and he had introduced them into a tank, this big, like 220 Central American, like not necessarily a community tank, but like a biotope type tank. Anyways, he described them as a beehive, and he couldn't understand how I had 12 Thricleus and a 125. At the time I had Macula pinus, which gorgeous fish. I have videos of that on my channel. He couldn't understand how I could have 12 of them in the tank. And beehive is a definite adjective for Tropheus. And also, interestingly enough, Adam C., the YouTuber Adam C., recently bought some Tropheus burchardi, and he uploaded a video about that the first time, and I don't know if it's first or second video on them, but he also described them as a beehive or something along those lines, and that reminded me of my cichlid forum buddy Chris. If you ever watch this, what's up, dude? So I guess that does it about the Tropheus. I'll move into the boring shit, the channel update. If you've made it this far and you're interested, stay tuned. Alright, now for the super exciting channel update stuff. Last time I did a channel update was freaking 3 years ago. About 3 years ago? Anyways, I did it before the video started. The video it was about was a turtle enclosure. And I figured I'd start off that way. Yes, I still keep turtles. We have a shitload of turtles. Most of them, 95% of them are hibernating right now. More correct term, brumating. Hibernation, brumation. A little different for reptiles. I do have a short video on my channel on how I'm doing some of that artificially in a refrigerator. Sorry to those that subscribe to my channel about turtles. I've taken a lot of footage the last couple of years. The last time I did an update on my 3-toe box turtle enclosure was 2017. That's still going. I still have my North American wood turtles, various aquatic turtles. I really just I need to make more videos, basically, as far as that goes. I feel like I have quite a bit going on and a lot to offer. Unfortunately, it just takes some motivation. And, you know, in the spring and summer months, my normal job is pretty demanding. So I'll do what I can this year. I really do want to show what's been going on, and especially the things to come. Moving on from turtles, I'm also building a fish room, an actual fish room. I've always bred fish and kept fry and sold fry, and kind of wanted to do it more legit rather than having a random 10 gallon here, a 40 here, a 20 there. So bought a linear piston air pump. I actually have two of them, but a legit one for fish room. I'm just waiting for some racks to go in. If I'm energetic enough here, I'll throw in some footage of what I've done as far as piping goes. But again, all these will be on the same drip system I explained earlier about the display tanks. Hang on a second, I need another sip of the beer. Might need to make a different drink. Getting sick of this beer. Anyways, yeah, did a lot of ordering through Gemco. Got everything kind of set up, waiting for some racks to get built. Some just straight up breeding setups. Like I talked about before, like my wall of tanks. It's two 180s, two 125s, two 75s. Those are my display tanks. The fish room is just going to be for breeding and more simplistic setups, more just fry setups, stuff I can maintain quite easily. Not that the display tanks are difficult at all. It's more about catching fish out of a tank that has 200 to 500 pounds of rock in it. It's a pain in the ass, almost so much that you don't even want to go in there. I'm not breaking down my setups. Like a lot of people will routinely go in and do maintenance and change up their scape. My scape, once it's in, that's it. I don't want to change it. I don't want to change it at all. If there's a problem with a fish, that fish is gone, or I'll make some changes with the stock accordingly, whether it revolves around removing that fish or removing other fish. Like if I set a tank up, that's the way I want it. Like my reason, and I think a lot of people lose sight of this when they get into this cichlid hobby, is why did you get a tank in the first place? Like you didn't get a tank in the first place to throw pink gravel in it and sandcastle things that you bought at PetSmart. Like, well, maybe you did. I don't know. You bought it as a display tank to enjoy your fish, and 1 year down the road, you have 8 tanks with, you know, a ton of shit in it. You're overwhelmed. So I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. It sucks, and you gotta figure out what you're gonna do. So when I moved, I don't know, 2.5 years ago, I had a decision to make. It's either I scale way back, because I'm not going to do this many water changes anymore. It's just impossible. Or I need to come up with an idea to maintain things better. And the drip system was the solution. Of course, now I'm rambling once again, but going back to how people get started, it's you buy a tank to, you know, set something up, enjoy it. You know, yeah, it could have pink gravel in it. It could have a skull that has bubbles coming out of it. Whatever. It might have freaking giant piles of rock that you got the landscape yard. It looks very natural. It's all about what you want, but I think that it's really easy to get carried away. I'm even contradicting myself now that I'm building a fish room, but I just want to give it a go and do it more seriously as far as breeding and selling shit. I feel like out of all the fish that I've had and capped and bred, like most of them might never bother with the fry. You know, I just let them spit in the tank, and 99% of them just get absolutely destroyed as soon as it gets spit out. But I've kept quite a bit, and I've sold a decent amount over the years. I just figured now let's try something. You know, I got the space. I'm settled in here. I've got the room to do it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But we'll see how I enjoy it. So I did have additional commentary as far as the channel update went, and it was really completely ridiculous and unimportant. So I'm cutting it here. This is a couple days after the swap I mentioned. I did speak with the seller, so on the next update I will go over the brief conversation we did have. Anyways, if you actually made it this long, thanks for watching, and you take care now.